So now here's another thing that a coach can do, and you don't have to be, like you just said it, you don't have to be the best coach, but you have to. This is very simple. How can a coach help? And I'm talking a team and an individual. So you're giving everybody some individual time. It's important. I don't buy this crap that I'm running a team practice. I don't have time to do that. No, you do. And I'm going to explain how. And give each individual and your team a handful of steps that are going to make them better. Okay, so actually look at the team roster. Okay, you have a team. You're responsible for 15 to 20 guys. I don't care what level you're at. Come up with a team identity. It's basically, this is my team, and I have a fast team. So we're gonna try to play that way. We don't have a very skilled team, so we're gonna have to maybe play defensively. We have a big team, so we're gonna maybe try to beat some people up. So that's the identity of the team, and within that identity of the team, you have individuals. So you've clearly and concisely explained to your group, which I've done with the teams I've coached, is this is what we have, and this is how we're going to play to benefit, a winning culture and a fun culture. So we have that, but within that you have your individuals, that you're not going to stifle someone's performance just based on one thing. So now you, as a coach, you're looking at actual ways to make every single kid on your team a better player, and actual ways that players can complement each other, because at the end of the day, it's not just about how good you are. If you look at yourself as being the end all be all, that you'll never be the greatest player, because your job as a player is to make the people around you better. That's that. So now when you go down to a player, I always say to no, I want to stay with that. Sorry. So now with a player, I want to give you 4 or 5 different things. So if I look at I'll just use my son because I can think of it. Okay, Charlie, this is what I feel as a coach your strengths are. I think you have a great shot. So when you get an opportunity to shoot pucks, like, even though, if there's an obvious pass, make it. But we want you shooting the puck. All right. So try to get 3 shots on net a period. That's your goal. 3 shots on net on period. I like your skating, but where you're going to get better, like, I find that you're a little bit, you need some work on your quickness. You're just your short area quickness. So let's really put some good intention in every practice, every time you start off, every time you're chasing a loose puck. Let's really have an intense focus on, 3-4 quick steps to get there. Even off the ice, son, get off and work on your quickness. That's going to really help you. Your back checking. Let's work on X. You know what I mean. Get the puck out because you're a winger. If you do these 4 or 5 things consistently that you can measure, you're doing your job. Mm-hmm. You're doing your job really well. So now what you've done is you've helped that kid. You've given. So the kid's gonna, at the end of the day, he's not gonna say you're a jerk. He's gonna say thank you, because now I could work on that. And you have those notes. If you own a pen, write it down, and you have those notes to go back to when you're coaching the kid. Hey, Charlie, remember those 4 things I told you? How you had a couple times where you should have shot, you didn't. Have you been working on your feet? Oh, and the reminders. That's quality coaching at a very minor league level, like for youth hockey. If you can do that, you're actually helping a kid, and the kid will be thankful.
Yeah, and now what you've done is you've opened the door for the player to know this is an avenue for me to get some help, right? Rather than, being your hard-nosed, arms crossed, rah-rah, whatever type coach with bad communication skills. And that takes a level of self-awareness as a coach too, right? Like, you need to be able to identify your own strengths and weaknesses as a coach, and then be willing to address those and work on those, so that you are an avenue for help for these kids that don't know. Like we talked about this in the office so many times, where Dalton, you and me, all 3 of us, and so many other people we know, didn't have a resource when we needed a resource. At critical ages, like junior, 18 years old, when it's like crunch time, or 15 years old going into the OHL draft where it's crunch time, like a critical resource would have been, or someone who's just even marginally helpful, not even critical, just someone who can give me something, just extend a hand to help me in the right direction. That is would be so valuable, and kids don't get that.
Yeah.
So if you're a coach and you can have any level of self-awareness to try to extend that hand to help these kids and show that you're a resource and you're open to them coming and talking to you and asking you questions and doing these things, and then obviously assuming that you actually have educated yourself enough to give them proper advice, or at least you're in the ballpark of giving them decent advice, especially in minor hockey where we can't really expect you to know everything about everything.
No.
Then you're giving them such an awesome opportunity to find the help that they need, you know, because the difference between you getting picked and not picked for the next team is very small on the day-to-day, right? It's very small differences. And if you can give them just that one thing that they needed, that one little boost in the right direction that they needed, that could be the difference between that kid really like grasping the concept and taking off with it, or they're done because they don't have anywhere else to go, and then they end up in the smoker's pit with Johnny bass player and now they're in all kinds of shit because they didn't have anybody extending the hand to them when they needed it, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And as a coach, you know what? I'd rather see a coach give the help first and just say, okay, this is how I'm going to be a good coach. And if the kid doesn't respond, you still do it anyways because that's your job. You don't coach don't coach, especially youth hockey, if you're not willing to do that. And so, like, here's a thing, right? If you tell a kid, let's say you should work on a little bit of quickness because that's a deficiency in your game, so you should work on that. The kid might say to you, "Oh, okay, how?" That's a great question. Mm-hmm. Not just walk away. I mean, it might be humble for both sides now.
Right.
And the coach might have an answer, and don't bullshit. Say, I don't know. If you don't know, like especially in youth hockey, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them I'm not sure, but together or you could say it this way. That's up to you now to figure it out, and that's okay. You know, like, okay, find quickness drills. Find how does a person get faster or quicker. You can do that on your own. Or I know someone that, like, I know Eric at PowerTech that does a lot of stuff for quickness. Maybe you should just ask him or go see him. That's good coaching.
Yeah. Let me jump in on that quick. 'Cause the other thing I was just thinking when you're saying, you said, don't coach minor hockey if you're not willing to do that to the kids. Right. And that's a really key thing because it goes back to the intention again, right? Yeah. Why are you coaching a lot of times your kids' team? Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
That's a key question, right? Are you coaching your kid's team so that you have the control over what your kid is doing? Yeah. Or are you doing it because you actually want to help out and you want to provide what you can to all the kids to make them better, also including your kid, right? And a lot of times I'm not sure which is the driver, right? So if you're going to be a coach, have the proper intention and realize like you're now in a position to influence 15, 17, 20 kids, however many, right? Especially as they get older when it becomes more important. Yeah. If in terms of their success in hockey
development,
then you need to do that and have, like you said, the humility to say, I don't know when I don't know, but then give them an avenue to go down because that's not hard to know, right? You might not know how to improve quickness, but it's not hard to know where to direct them, right? Exactly. So you can say, I don't know, but this guy I know is really good on quickness, or honestly, just fire up YouTube, find some quickness drills that you can work on.
Yeah, it'll be better than not.
Better than not, right? And you can at least direct them, and then maybe they'll find a better resource as a result of you directing them one way or the other. Yeah. So I just wanted to punch that quick because.
Well, and just a side note as we're going through this now, is that as a coach, what happens is when you actually coach, you will get challenged. And being challenged is good. It's like what we said earlier about what Drape says. It's easy when things are easy. Mm-hmm. But now when you're challenged, it's going to force you to become a better coach because you might get someone like me or you that says, okay, coach, I need quickness. How? And then the next thing, how or why? And get challenged, you're going to have to maybe answer some questions, but that's good. And if you hear it, if you might, as a coach, notice that there's a trend that most players, let's just say we'll just stay on the quickness thing. Most players have that same thing. You just don't seem quick enough. Well, if 10 of your 15 players need to work on quickness, as a coach, that should be a cue for you to say, this is something that I need to know something about so I can make someone better, right?
Yeah, definitely.